Hello, I'm Matt Harris and you're watching Buckingham News live at 5. Our top stories. Buckingham Town Council had a talk on Thursday with the public to discuss issues facing healthcare in the country. International Busking Day was celebrated all over the world, including in the streets of Buckingham. The semi-professional team Buckingham Athletic is going to be fielding a ladies team in the forthcoming season for the first time ever. With healthcare services and discussions of their use rapidly growing into a controversial topic, public meetings discussing them may be the start to a way forward. Buckingham Town tested this by hosting their very own. Alice Hills was there.
Buckingham Town Council hosted a public meeting last Thursday to inform locals of what is happening within their healthcare services. Professionals explained aims for the future, which included stronger integrated teams of GPs, improvement on urgent primary care and simpler pathways to receive this care. Discussion afterward was then opportunity for locals to critique.
What we all want to know is if and when it's going to happen.
We were trying to sell a new concept and a new idea of how do you deliver care with multidisciplinary, with nurses and physiotherapists. So I think when we got that message across, it was well received.
Got some work to do, got some more engagement to do, and I really welcomed people's thoughts and comments. And there's been some interesting discussions both in the meeting and after the meeting about how we might be able to look at alternative ways of providing a town centre presence.
With all residents welcome, Lace Hill Community Centre had an hour and a half for a chance to become a positive location for healthcare education, getting local voices heard and instigating necessary change. Unfortunately, we asked the locals what changes are needed and if the meeting was helpful, and they weren't as spontaneous.
I think it was useless because Mr. Price thinks he knows what he wants to do.
I want to see a state-of-the-art type premises and facility that they're talking about.
I think the idea of having the new health centre is a good idea.
With new ideas proposed from specialists, residents are still waiting for a real solution to their medical needs. This is Alice Hills, Buckingham News.
The streets of Buckingham were filled with music and cheer this weekend as International Busking Day took place. Nolly Niswaniso was there.
Street performance has grown tremendously in the UK. In the last few years, it has become more and more regulated, with local authorities requiring performers to apply for a license to publicly entertain on designated areas.
Today is International Busking Day, a day that street music brings the community together. Today we're in Buckingham Town to be entertained by local talent and of course support them.
You know, we're part of everybody across the UK busking today, and I think it's an amazing thing. I think it's a great thing, and I've always loved walking down high streets and hearing music. I think it brightens the place up, and it's a good thing to do.
Never worry until it's over.
We spoke to the Mayor of Buckingham to take his view on busking and articles that suggest that it is under threat.
I think it would be a very great shame if busking died, and that's one of the reasons why the Town Council is doing everything it can to encourage buskers to play here outside the Town Council chamber. So busking is wonderful.
A huge thank you to everybody that took part and supported International Busking Day. It was lots of fun. This is Nolly Niswaniso for Buckingham News.
In other news, Dame Mary Archer and Lord Geoffrey Archer were welcomed by Sir Anthony Selden last week for a personal conversation reflecting on their lives together.
In a single-sex girls' school, girls are not put off science, and indeed...
Dame Mary Archer presented their love of a science with a can-do attitude and highlighted the hindrances for girls wishing to study science subjects.
And sat down and wrote not a penny more, not a penny less, without any knowledge.
Lord Archer reflected on his success as an author and touched on some stories from the past 51 years of their marriage. Sir Anthony opened the floor up to questions at the end before drawing the conversation to a close. And now over to sports with Amarachi Duru.
Thank you, Matt. Local team Buckingham Athletics has announced a new ladies team this week. The club has been on the search for local talent. Neil Fotheringham was there to find out more.
Founded in 1933, Buckingham Athletic haven't been known for their women's teams. However, they're trying to change that now as they try to get more women involved in the sport.
With just over 5% of club members being women in the UK, the impetus is on getting more people like manager Carmen Roberts and captain Kerry Stapleton involved, as we asked them what their ambitions are for the coming season.
Hopefully we're looking at encouraging girls around the local area to come along have a kick about, have a bit of fun, and hopefully win some trophies at the end of the season.
Buckinghamshire lacks quality women's football, however. Buckingham Athletic is offering a unique chance to play that not many will have experienced before, with their enthusiastic and talented coaching team and players. With the new season starting in the coming months, we're all hoping for some silverware this season.
As you can see tonight, the turnout has been brilliant, so why don't you give football a chance this summer? This is Neil Fotheringham for Buckingham News.
As part of the Student Union Rag Week festivities, the Gaming and Entertainment and Chess Societies came together on the 20th of July to host a gaming night to raise money for charity. The focus of this event was the long-anticipated chess tournament. Philip Johnson has more.
The University of Buckingham Chess Tournament, previously tapped as one of the most exciting events of the academic calendar, was held on Thursday of last week. Members of the Chess and Entertainment Societies were engaged in a battle of the mind that rivals the final of the Chess World Championships. As you can see behind me, the tension here is palpable. Both players trying their very hardest to win this game. This is truly some exciting stuff. After several minutes of play that the current world champion Magnus Carlsen would be proud of, James Senior Clinton was crowned the winner of the tournament.
I feel good. It was fun. There was a few moments. The second game was pretty hard. The final game was not too hard actually, but I found some difficulty at the start.
Well, the adrenaline sure is pumping here, and it does not look like it will be subsiding anytime soon. This is Philip Johnson for Buckingham News.
Now back to the studio.
The University of Buckingham is hosting a fashion show at Radcliffe Centre due to the efforts of Abi Awalabi, one of Buckingham's own. Abi has started her own business and is displaying her fabulous fashion on the runway. Isabella Devine went to find out more.
The fashion show took place in Radcliffe Centre, showing Abi Awalabi's clothing brand Black Wolf. The show began with entertainment and concluded with models mainly from the university walking the runway.
Very useful.
Yes,
it's very useful.
And very quirky, very unique, not normal, but it worked.
In fashion, like, always sewed from a young age. So I thought if I'm going to start a brand, it has to be something that represents who I am. So that's why I decided to do gender neutral clothing. Yes.
Abi has created her own gender-neutral clothing brand which consists of chokers, hats, and jackets. This is one of Abi's first steps along her journey.
As you can tell, the fashion show was a great turnout and it was a brilliant way for Abi to promote her business. This is Isabella Devine for Buckingham News.
July features National Cherry Day, so this week Matt Power has a cherry good time showing you how to bake your very own cherry pie.
National Cherry Day takes place in July, so this week we've decided to make a cherry pie. For this recipe you will need 4 cups of pitted cherries, short crust sheet, 1/4 cup of flour, 1 cup of sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. First you will need to add the flour, cherries, sugar and cinnamon into a bowl and then stir thoroughly. Roll out the sheet of short crust and eventually place it into a pie tin. Then simply create the crust by pressing the short crust into the side of the tin. Add the rest of the ingredients on top of the short crust. With any leftover short crust, you can slice it up and create a lattice to top your pie. Brush lightly with milk and sprinkle with sugar. Then place in the oven at 220 degrees for 25 minutes, then at 175 degrees for a further 25 minutes.
And here you have it, only 15 minutes to prepare this delicious recipe. This is Matt Powell reporting for Buckingham News.
Thank you for watching Buckingham News. We'll see you next week.